Hey guys, this is Lefty and welcome back to Let's Play Dear Esther. So we recently learned that Esther was his wife who was killed in what appears to be a car accident, or she seems to be his wife, someone significant to him. And we're now going to head up the hill. You can still see we've got, I can't quite see it from here, but the tower is just over that ridge, a couple of ridges actually. So let's check out these houses here and then we'll keep heading up the mountain real quick. Doesn't look like anything. We got some stables, it looks like. Walking along the path. Yeah, there's the tower again, as you can see off there in the distance. Now we're coming up on this house here. I think we'll check out what's in there. There's nothing really over there. I did walk back prior to loading up the other video, or loading this up.
Constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Oh, those poor goats being left all by themselves here.
3 cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. This house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
Huh, okay, so it looks like he's been on the island here for a little while, as you can see. Oh, here's another. Can't really get anywhere good. We go in here. Let's see. What does that look like? Some kind of symbol. Looks like arrows pointing away from each other, almost like the stone structure that we saw earlier in the game, where this primary one where that main arrow is pointing in the middle. That I would imagine is where that chemical compound was put, was painted on at least. So let's continue over this way. Looks like we are getting maybe close to the caves. He did allude to maybe that's where we're headed. There's no way to check how much time is left on the flashlight, what the batteries are looking like. So I think we'll just keep heading over this way. So I believe is that the cave we originally came through, and there wasn't that hole? I don't think it is, because that doesn't really make sense for the way the island is shaped. But because we haven't really curved back around like that, did we? No, came across and then back, and then in the cave, and then yeah, it's just been up this way. So yeah, that doesn't seem to be where we originally came from, unless I'm remembering it incorrectly. All right, so it looks like we're probably gonna head down there. Hopefully, the path's getting a little bit. I wonder if we can just slide all the way down. I don't really want to.
What to make of Donnelly, the laudanum and the syphilis? It is clearly not how he began, but I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
Huh, so he's talking about being a drunk driver, perhaps? I'm not quite sure what he's trying to explain there. Obviously that the syphilis is worse than,
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
Alright, so just talking about disposal of the body there. So back to the drunk driver thing. Maybe did he kill his wife? Was he the drunk driver? It doesn't really seem to make sense due to the fact that A, he's not in prison somewhere, and B, he was explaining earlier that he was actually, driving around looking for apparently where maybe she was hit, something along the road that would provide him with some information. So,
climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
okay, so that was perhaps him explaining why we can't run, why we move so slow in general. I don't think there's going to be anything back here, but I mean, it's worth checking for the 30 seconds it's going to take just to make sure there's no more commentary or any other sorts of details. So it looks like somebody's been throwing, what are these? A Hebridean history. Huh. Well, I'm not quite sure what that is. I'll have to look it up after the video's done. But a little bit more information down there for anybody who's interested in searching or trying to find additional meanings and stuff. So let's head back over there. But if he broke his femur, that definitely explains why we walk so slowly, as well as the fact why we can't run, why we can't jump in the game, that kind of thing. So that's a much better example. Obviously, he's got some kind of infection that perhaps is killing him. So he's gotten tired of simply, resting there. He wants to head out and see what else the island has to offer while he can still get around prior to dying. So let's keep going in here. See what else we have. Alright, so it looks like we're actually coming up on a cave level from some of the images. Not quite sure why there is a candle in the cave, unless we brought it here, which would be interesting. I'm assuming that it probably means that this is the end of the level. We'll keep going here. We've only been going for... Oh, that didn't look good. Excellent. Unless that was him breaking his femur, but that doesn't make sense that he made it back from this very large fall all the way back up to where he previously was. So let's keep going here, see what else we have.
Donnelly's addiction is my one true constant. Even though I wake in false dawns and find the landscape changing, flowing in constantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
Alright, so it looks like we're in some kind of very old cave. Not quite sure, once again, why we have a candle here, but I have to assume it probably means the start of the level or something along those lines. Looks like we have a lot of stalactites and a lot of stalagmites from the ceiling. Looks like we have that was the same shape that we saw previously over there when we were in the other cave. Some sort of... There's no chemical compounds on it, however, it is some sort of... it almost looks like... I don't know, electrons in the brain, something along those lines. Maybe it's meant to represent a flower. I think that's what we discussed earlier, but I'm not quite sure. It's definitely a strange symbol, but it really does remind me of brain activity and what that looks like under some kind of, scanner or other object. I like this blue to green. It's very interesting. We've got some crazy looking mushrooms here on the ground. Alright, so we got more candles, which is really odd. It's really strange that there's that many candles, especially since it's just us here. So I'm not quite sure. Let's explore back here first before we head up that way. That looks like that may be where we're supposed to go. It looks like, in addition, there's quite a few drawings on the walls around here, so let's go check those out.
Someone had taken the car and shaken it like a cocktail. The glove compartment had been opened and emptied with the ashtrays and the boot. It made for a crumpled museum, a shattered exhibition.
Alright, so once again, obviously talking about the car crash, we've got some more chemical compounds here if anybody's interested in those. Alright, let's head on. I'm not quite sure. I mean, some of, like, that looks like it's supposed to be a circuit, but I mean, it doesn't really seem to make sense. That definitely looks like a circuit. I mean, let's keep going, look around. Looks like the same chemical compounds again. That's, I mean, come on, that's definitely some kind of electrical circuit, you know. If you've done any kind of circuit work, that is as well. You know, you got like some resistors and everything, transistors in there, that kind of fun stuff. So I mean, we definitely got some stuff going on. Okay, once again, that same symbol. What is this? We've got some more stuff for some electrical engineers to figure out. All right, let's head back up the other way. Not quite sure who drew all this stuff. I don't know. Did we draw it? I'm highly doubting that. Just some more electrical. Not really very useful since we don't know what the voltage is or anything along those lines, or what the point of it is. So let's keep heading up this way. Got a pretty sweet looking waterfall up here. So let's see what that's about. Huh. Alright, well, I guess we might as well jump in. Alright. Okay. Some pretty nice water effects there we got going. Looks pretty good. So let's keep heading up this way. Maybe to see what the source of this water is. If it's just from, perhaps just rainwater, or it doesn't really make sense. Maybe there's like an aquifer or something, but for a small island, that doesn't seem to really make sense that one would exist. But who knows? Maybe there's a part of the mountain that's extremely snowy, where, you know, we've got the snow falling down. I'm not quite sure, but we're gonna keep exploring up here just to see what else the island has to offer. All right, this looks pretty cool. Very, very slippery. Let's try not to make sure we don't fall here. Doesn't seem like we actually lost any sort of control, but definitely good to be careful, because looks like that probably, yeah, see, this would lead back down and we'd have to come back up again, which would not be very good. Definitely some very old stalactites and stalagmites in here. Looks like this was probably a waterway at some point with the way the rocks are pretty smoothed over. So let's keep heading up here. Yeah, I got some waterfall there. Let's keep going here. Not a whole lot to say in this this path as we take it. I mean, it's pretty, you know, straight ahead. But let's keep going. All right, we're getting into a much larger cave. Those are some huge stalactites.
I'm traversing my own death throes. The infection in my leg is an oil rig that dredges black muck up from deep inside my bones. I swallow fistfuls of diazepam and paracetamol to stay conscious. The pain flows through me like an underground sea.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like we are dying here, or definitely in some dangerous territory. Let's see what we have down here. If anything, there might not be anything down here, but it's worth checking out. Ah, get another circuit diagram. Let's see, can we cross? No, let's see, can we swim down here? Nope, looks like we can't go back that way. Can't really get out. Let's take a look at the circuit diagram real quick. Oh, there we go. We're able to get out there. Excellent. So, not really sure what that's supposed to represent, but let's keep going here. That's interesting. Got some crystals up there, it looks like. Kind of glowing crystals. There's some kind of chemical compound in them that reacts with the air or something along those lines. Got some more crystals over here as well. once again, we have the same chemical compound. So this is definitely, maybe it has something to do perhaps with the circuit diagrams. I mean, we've got the same symbol here in the upper left, once again, as well as the 5 symbols there. It's been a while since I did any kind of circuit design, so I don't really remember. I believe that's like the start of the circuit. I can't remember though. Once again, same chemical compound, it looks like. Let's see, it looks like that is the way to go. So let's check out, yeah, that's definitely where we're supposed to be going. Let's check out over here real quick, see if we can get maybe some more dialogue, or if there's any other interesting, you know, designs over there on the walls. I doubt there will be, but it's worth checking out, especially when there's like a light source over here, definitely drawing you towards it. Let's see. Looks like something over there. Oh, once again we have, I think that was the same one from the stonework. We'll head over to that side in just a second, and we'll check it out. I'm getting pushed here by the current. Come on, let's go. There we go. Can we get up this little cliff here? Oh, looks like we can't. Up, up, come on. Ah, there we go. Okay. So something there. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Yeah, this is definitely the same symbol we saw earlier, the same chemical makeup. So there's that. For everybody who's interested in figuring it out. I don't know what that is. An arrow with 2 arrows coming off it. It's like slamming into a wall. I don't know if that's supposed to represent something, like a car hitting a wall and then people flying out of it, or if that's just, you know, morbid. But I'm not quite sure. So it looks like we are coming back up to the bridge here. I think we're going to call it there for right now, so that's going to be it. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.